But let's talk a little bit more about escapes now, okay? So I'm gonna get on bottom. There are many different kinds of escapes. You can trap, you can feed, you can frame and move away. I'm gonna take you through some of the classic ones here, and we'll talk about some common mistakes. So Dowdy hops up to knee ride. And I wanna work this escape right away, but I missed. Go ahead and sit up. I missed somehow, and he's get on top. Yeah, he's on top of me here. Good. Don't grab him, just go upright. Yes, so we're here, okay? And I'm gonna work escaping this way, okay? Now I'm gonna show you a couple things about that escape. This one works good when I feel if his toes are on the mat, I'd be less likely to do this. Kind of float with your toes up. Here, yeah, this is where I'd be more likely to do it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach underneath and I'm gonna grab. And then this hand just knocks him over. And the problem a lot of people have with this is they'll go here and then he'll hop up and trap my arm. Hop off and trap my arm. And then your arm gets locked and stuck here, okay? So there's a simple thing we can do to prevent that. So as I reach underneath and grab, I go here. You feel what I did? So as I pull my elbow close to my body, I make it to where he can't drop and sit on my arm. So instead of just going underneath and grabbing, as soon as I go and grab, I go here. Okay? What that does is makes his hips fall back and makes him easy to turn over and makes it harder for him to trap my arm. So he hops up, underneath and grab, elbow to my hip. See how he's almost falling like that? And you could knock him over that way. Want to try it? Okay, go ahead. Okay, good.
I don't know if that's still available to me.
There's not a ton of detail to that you have to pay attention to. I think the most important thing is that you're doing what? You're doing an external rotation with your arm, so you're pulling your palm up and you're bringing your elbow to your hip. And that makes it hard for him to trap your arm.
Is that an exclusively gi?
What's that?
Is that a gi only? Are you gonna be able to do that?
You can do a no-gi, grab his shorts, but you got to grab something. Hopefully they at least have shorts on. And then the other hand is just, so I pull that up one, this other hand is here. And then of course what you always have to be careful of when we get up is not getting put into a triangle, right? So depending on how the scramble plays out, I don't want to land inside this guard with one arm in here. So generally as I'm getting up, you see I'm pushing on the trackers, I'm just being careful where my other hand is so I get on top, okay? Now the other thing you can do, and a lot of this varies totally depending on how this guy's holding me, how he's built, if he has longer arms or longer legs or shorter. Some people will play knee ride and their knee will be way over here, right? Because they're super tall. And their foot is locked up against your hip, in which case when I showed you, obviously I wouldn't go for it. Other people, go back, will play, where their knee is more in your diaphragm and the foot's back here, right? Some people will have this on the mat. If this is on the mat, what it does is it restricts his ability to follow me. So it's much easier for me to frame and move away from him when his toes on the mat. But what it does do for him is it makes it harder for me to move his toes around, okay? If his foot's off the mat, now it's harder for me to get away with this, but it's easier for me to do things like just grab his ankle, okay? And so we can grab the ankle or the knee. So go ahead and hop up and just sit up so they can see and have your diaphragm kind of here. Yeah, and then just sit upright. Good, so here I'm just grabbing the toes and I'm moving them between my legs. So fishing here, I'm grabbing, and now once I have, we can go half guard or full guard, okay? Now if it's the opposite, and he's over here, and his knee's over here, you can do the same thing with the knee, okay? So all I'm gonna do there is I'm just gonna hold the knee in place, I'm gonna move my leg around, and then I grab, like I'm hanging on half guard to his leg. And then again, I can start to escape. So you can feed the foot, or you can feed the knee, okay? And whichever one you get, hang on to it, and then you feel scramble, fight for top, and pull guard. Okay, let's try that now. The main escape that I want you guys to use, rather than show you all these other ones, but you just kind of have a conceptual idea, right? You can feed the ankle between your legs, you can feed the knee between your legs, you can reach underneath and grab. If they're very high, you can start to bring your knee between their legs, all different ideas of ways you can play to escape, okay? I'll tell you guys a funny story. Lay down real quick, Daddy. One time I was teaching this, teaching this low knee ride in Los Angeles many years ago. And there was a guy that was watching my seminar, and he called me over, and on the side, he's like, I have a question for you. What's that? I was like, well, what's just to prevent the person on bottom? Like, what would you do if they just grab your groin from there? And I said, well, then I would probably just start gouging your eyes out here because I'm on top. And he goes, oh, okay. So, anyway, the main one I want you guys to do, and the one I think you're going to do the most often, is just your basic underhook. Frame, escape, and fight for top. Okay, it's very simple. So, now he's going to hop up on top. Again, as he hops up, I always like to try and work this escape, but it fails. Okay, so get me ready. So I'm here. So I'm just going to do is I'm going to put my arm here on my body. So I'm just laying my palm, depending on where he's sitting, up against my hip. If he was higher, it might be on my belly. But I'm locking it up against my body. Okay, and just like always now, I'm just going to start to move away. And as I move away, you see I'm going to be in the position there where now I can fight for top. So all I'm doing is I'm laying my hand on here, and then I'm moving away from it, as we always do in jiu-jitsu. And that's just one of the hardest ones to defend against because it's so simple. Okay? I don't want to let him get knee ride to do that, so I still try that first one. He hops up. Oh, and I'm struggling and it doesn't work. Okay, so I go here. And now I start to move here. You're going to wind up in a position kind of like this. Now it's going to be a scramble, right? Whether you pull guard. In my case, I'm going to get here and start to circle back behind. Okay? That's I think the simplest solution to knee ride bottom. Okay, you guys want to try it? All the other counters I showed you, it's kind of a good general rule for jiu-jitsu. They're fairly easy to defend against. So if I'm playing my rolling pin knee right here, and I feel him put his hand on my toes, because he wants to push my toes between his legs, then I just put weight on it, right? If instead I feel him framing on my body to move away, now I take my weight off, and so now I'm attached to him. Every kind of escape you would use has a very simple counter like that. The hardest one to deal with is the one I just showed you. Okay, so clear the pry bar. Yeah, underhook, good. Once he gets this underhook position, if he really engages that arm and just moves away, you're going to end up probably having to bail off his route. As simple as it is, I think it's probably, I think the most effective. Any questions? Okay, what we did not do, we did not push on the knees with our hands, because you're going to give away the arm bars, right? We did not push up. Those are the two big mistakes, things you don't want to do. Those are also the two things that anybody that doesn't know jiu-jitsu or grappling will do when you take knee ride, is they're going to immediately do one of those two things and give you those submissions. Okay. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for frequent updates because we're updating this every week, and make sure you comment and like and share our videos. We appreciate it, and we definitely try and respond to all the comments. And if you like what we're doing and you like the material, check out SBG University, SBGU, and you're going to see a ton more in much greater depth than what you see here on YouTube. Thank you very much.